at CK Education, and today I want to share a story with you about a student named Anthony. And when I think of Anthony, I mean, he was another kid who did very, very well. But I always get kids like this. When I think of Anthony, the theme that I think of is he had a very strong father, not in the best sense of the word, but fortunately, he had a stronger mother. All right. So the theme for Anthony, I think, would be strong father, stronger mother. I've been working with teenagers for over 20 years. Now, just doing this, college prep and SAT thing, I've been doing this since about 2009. As of today, that's about 10 years. But even before that, I worked with teenagers in nonprofits, in churches, and so I understand teenagers pretty well, I think. And I was a teenager once, of course, too. But, Anthony was one of those kids. He didn't have a great relationship with his dad. And I don't know, this is just seems to be true for a lot of guys. I mean, I just meet a lot of guy students and we get to talking, and I find out that a lot of them don't have a very close relationship with their dads. And that's very unfortunate. It's such an important relationship in life, especially for boys. I mean, for kids in general, but especially for sons. And yet he didn't have a very good, close relationship. Fathers, a lot of them, they don't show much affection. They don't say a lot of encouraging or loving words, or are not, maybe they're supportive, but in sort of a dry, sort of, offhandish way. And so, guys, sons yearn for that support and that attention and that love, even though guys may not express it like that, but they all do. We all do. So it's always sad when I hear that they don't have a good relationship with their dads, and Anthony was certainly one of those kids. But fortunately, he did well because he had a very strong mother, stronger mother. When I say strong mother, I mean in the good sense, in this way. She was very supportive, very loving, very affectionate, just very strong. Like she just strong, but not hard. She loved her kids. She really knew what she was talking about. She was reasonable. She supported them. She loved them. She guided them. She taught them. And so she sort of balanced out the father's sort of negative impact. And so that was good to see. And because of that, I think he did really well, and he stayed motivated. So, but I've seen in over 20 years of working with teenagers that when I hear of a teenager who has really gone off the deep end, especially guys, they're into drugs or they're into gangs, or they're into they're depressed, or whatever the situation is, or they get into fights all the time, they lash out at their parents. I have never in my experience, and I've talked to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students and parents, and especially guys, I have never talked to a mom who has said, my son is just, he's just out of control. Every time that happens, I always ask this question. I always ask, does your son have a good relationship with his dad? And 100% of the cases, in my experience, in my observation, is the answer has always been not really, or no, or he doesn't have a dad, or he has a terrible relationship with his dad. That really tells you something. I mean, so it tells you how important fathers are. If you're a father, if you're a dad watching this video, please understand, and I'm saying this as a fellow dad, that the most important thing that your son, especially your son, and of course daughters are included, but especially your son needs is not him getting straight A's or getting a 1600 or getting into great school and college. You might think that you pushing your kid so hard to get there, they'll thank you in the future. Not if they hate you, not if they build resentment against you. It's so important, more important than those accomplishments or those achievements. You know what your kids want. You know what your son wants. They want to know that you love him. Now, you might say, of course my kids know they love me. Do I got to say it? Yeah, you do. To your kids, yes, you do. And, you got to show affection. You got to be encouraging and supportive. I'm not saying pushing is always bad, but it's all in how you do it, you know. And so, you know, it's just like, if you're a dad, you probably like football, or you follow it, and you know Tom Brady, you know Peyton Manning, legendary football players. You know, one thing that I was so impressed when I heard them on interviews one time years ago, someone asked Tom Brady, man, you got everything. You got all the money. You won so many Super Bowls. You have a great wife, great kids, great house, great everything. Is there anything you lack in life? I mean, is there anything you'd want to do? I mean, if you could just quit football, what would you do? And his answer was, I want to hang out with my dad. I want to do more things with my dad. And I think I heard the same thing from Peyton Manning. Their dads were so special to them and are so special to them because they not only helped their sons achieve, but they loved their sons, and their sons knew that their fathers loved them, and they knew that not just indirectly, but they knew the father showed that they loved them, and so I would strongly encourage you in your own way somehow. You may not have gotten it from your dad, but it is your responsibility for your kids to do it right with your kids. And so you can be a strong dad, but you can be a strong, loving dad. And so let's be that kind of dad. And I hope if you're a father watching this, you know, I can't control it, but I can only encourage you that your sons will love you for that. All right. And so I hope, you know, everybody has a wonderful relationship with their dad. And I hope you, if you're a father, that you can create that kind of relationship with your kids. And I can go on and on and on and on about stories about this, but it's so important. It's so important for sons especially to feel loved by their fathers. And so please, if you're a father, keep that in mind. It's the most important thing to your sons. But Anthony, you know, again, I wish he had a better relationship with his father, but at least he has a great mother. And let me tell you though about his scores a little bit. He started out at 650 in reading and writing. He started out at 750 in math for a total of 1400. Again, a very strong start. He started out very strong, and then he ended up reading and writing at 730, which was an 80-point increase. And in math, he ended up getting an 800, which was a perfect score. A 50-point increase there. So he ended up at 1530, which was a 130-point increase. Now, that was excellent. That was wonderful. He did really, really well. But I'll bet you that if I asked him, would you trade that for a great relationship with your dad? In a heartbeat. It's the most important thing. And so I would urge you, dads, keep that in mind. And as always, if you're interested in becoming one of my students, that was kind of a weird segue, so that's why I sort of thought it was funny. But anyway, if you're interested in becoming one of my students, you know, the best thing is to fill out the SAT Prep application form on my website, and in the form there's a comment section, and if you would please write in there why you think you would be a great fit as one of my students. I promise that I will read that and I will get back to you personally. I can't take every student, as I've said in many videos, only because I can't fit everyone into my schedule, and I teach every student myself. I don't hire other people to do that. I refuse to do it. I will teach every student myself, and so I can't take every student, but I will do everything I can to accommodate you if I think that you'd be a great fit. And so please fill that out. It's on my website at ckeducation.org. And so I hope to hear from you. And until my next video, please stay well.